Welcome to this week's videocast. This week's videocast is brought to you by Jersey Tags and All-American Pins. We're lucky enough to have Bob Person from Jersey Tags and All-American Pins with us in studio today to record this week's videocast. Thanks a lot for coming by, Bob.
Thank you, Tony.
It's going to be fun. We're going to talk a little pins. We're going to talk a little Jersey Tags. Last winter, Bob was a sponsor of our Squirtacular tournament, and he came in. He was going to sell these Jersey Tags. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Jersey Tags are?
Jersey Tags are new. They haven't even been around for 2 years yet, but they've created quite a buzz, and I'm very proud of them. A Jersey Tag is a personalized two-sided key ring. This is a Eden Prairie football Jersey Tag that we've done 2 years in a row now. I just delivered 75 of them last week. So we have a football style, we have a t-shirt style for baseball and softball and whatever else a t-shirt works. And we also have a sleeveless that can be used for basketball, and this is a lacrosse one, and softball and whatever.
So basically every team you could imagine could have a Jersey Tag.
Except for men's swimming. I haven't figured out a way to do that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Did you stay up all night thinking of that one?
Yeah.
That was good. That's good.
But the primary one that we've been doing so far, for the most part, is a long sleeve one, and especially for hockey. Probably 80% of our Jersey Tags so far have been hockey, and we've worked with high school teams. I've got 3 of the girls' high school champion Jersey Tags that I did here last fall for last winter for Blake and Minnetonka and Bismarck, North Dakota.
Oh, cool.
And we did a Jersey Tag for the girls' 12 UB state championship up in Roseau.
Yeah.
They gave one to every girl that participated. And this is my latest one, Gophers Power Play Club for the Gophers Women Hockey. They haven't even had a game yet, and they've sold 150 of the national champion Jersey Tag from last year. Got another national championship. The Jefferson Jaguar girls cheerleading team won a national championship. So we can do, it's not just sports, we can do bands, we can do cheerleading, we can do whatever your heart imagines.
Well, I can tell you that when the most popular table at the Squirtacular last year was Bob's table. He had tags out for each team, and that's pretty much standard fare for you to have a pre-made up tags for a lot of the teams, correct?
Right. We can do them either with all of the team names on the back, or we can do them individually with an individual player's name and number. And the different families have different choices, but we can do both. Yeah,
it was pretty cool. It was fun to watch all these little kids, squirt age kids, just swarming this guy trying to get their Jersey Tag made up over the weekend. So, well, thanks for joining us, Bob. Bob's going to interact with us a little bit as we normally have our guests do. Today we're going to announce the number 2 seeds for the Big Pumpkin tournament coming up in a couple weeks. The number 2 seeds, so this is the 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds in the tournament. Bob, why don't you let us know who the number 5 seed is going to be?
Number 5 is Osseo Maple Grove.
Oh, he got it right, unlike the car guy who keeps calling them Maple Grove. But yeah, that's a great team. Could have very easily been a top 4 seed. They bring a lot of players back from last year's successful team. Well coached. I like that choice as number 5. Who's number 6?
Chaska Chanhassen.
Chaska Chan, that's a great team. A couple years ago as Squirts, they did really well in District 6 play. They did well in Fargo. They beat a lot of good teams, had an impressive record as Squirts. The the Pee Wee AA coach will be Andy Brink. Andy's a great coach, great hockey mind. I think that's a great pick. They return a lot of players from last year's team. I saw them in the Velocity tournament a few weeks ago. It's a solid club. Who's number 7?
North Suburbs, Andover.
Yes, District 10, Andover, another great team. Lots of new first-year players returned from their second-year Squirt years last year. A lot of good players from their second-year players as well. I think that Sean Moline will have a nice club, and they'll make a serious run in this tournament as a number 7 seed.
Number 8. On the way on the south, Lakeville South.
Lakeville South. Here was a team that got to the Final Four at Fargo 2 years ago. They have a lot of talent. Again, very well coached team. I look for Lakeville South to possibly spring an upset somewhere along the lines this year. They could be a top 3 or 4 team by the end of the year. So another good pick. We got 8 of them. We have 8 more to go. Hopefully we can reveal all of those here by the end of the week or early next week, the latest. So let's talk a little more hockey here. We have our next big thing. I got a story coming up this week on Joe Polatichuk from Cottage Grove. He's an 03 player. He'll be a squirt this year for Cottage Grove. He's an outstanding player. He does not look like your average 03. He's a big kid, but he's got great speed. He can play defense. He can play forward. I mean, if they needed him to play goalie, he probably would play goalie. Here's a real special talent. I can't wait to watch him a few more times this year as Park Cottage Grove tries to make their way into the upper echelon of squirt teams this year in Squirt A. So keep an eye out for that article on Joe. I got some great pictures of him and a cool story about his family. So Joe Polatichuk is our next big thing this week. Let's get back to Bob here. We talked a little bit about jersey tags. Now I want to talk a little bit about pins. We mentioned a minute ago he has All-American Pins as a business as well. Pins, as you guys know, is a big favorite of mine. Last year he designed our Squirtacular pin that I promptly dropped it on the floor. Here's the Squirtacular pin that he designed last year. And he also designed several pins for other teams, especially a lot of the girls last year who went up to the Fargo tournament in early January. Can you want to show a couple of those for us? Was this one of them here, the Edina team?
Yes, this is the Edina 14 team that we did, and I did this one myself. I don't design pins that much. I more of them produce them, but it just seemed to me with their Hornet that to put the hockey stick right in between them, it seemed to be a logic. So
that's classic.
I think that was a cool one that they enjoyed.
Here's another favorite, the
Minneapolis Storm.
Yep. Fear the Yeti. Fear the Yeti.
Yep. The 10 girls last year called themselves the Swarm early in the year, and so when they got a pin, they decided they wanted the Storm Swarm on there. So that's what we put on it.
That's cool. And here was one of my favorites when you were showing off your pins on your site last year. Was this North Francis Flyers? Really classic looking pin. I'm guessing that's St. Francis and like North Branch or something like that.
Right. That's right.
Okay. Well, that was a total guess. They had a nice team last year and a really cool pin. So this is to give you some idea. So anyone out there right now who's got a squirt player who's going up to Fargo or a girl player that's going up to Fargo, this is a great company to use. I would highly recommend Bob. He's a local resource. He can get you design. He can get you pins produced at a good price. And finally, for all the Squirtacular teams that are playing this year, that both the A's, B's, and C's, we will have pin trading at the Squirtacular in January. So it's 3 big tournaments. There's going to be a huge need for pins. If you want a local resource, check Bob's site out, jerseytags.com.
Correct.
And you can find the pin section right in there, All-American Pins, right within that site. Let's get back to some more hockey. I got a really fun one now. We have our top 5 Bantam AA teams. The story will be coming out next week on all our preseason top 10 with a little explanation on each team. Bob, why don't you tell us who the top 5 are going to be this year?
Number 1, Elk River.
I like that pick. I've been touting them on Twitter. I've been touting them all over town, and I think this will be the best team this year. They return everybody. They obviously won the Velocity 3-on-3 tournament, was a pretty good precursor for this year. They're solid 3 lines top to bottom. They got a great set of D, and then what every top team needs, they need a top goaltender, and Ben Myers is their goaltender. I see for them as the number 1 team going into the season. So let's see who's number 2.
Number 2, Duluth area, Hermantown.
Yeah, oh yeah. You always got to keep track of Hermantown. They're one of the best programs top to bottom every year. At Pee-wee's last 2 years ago, this same group of kids, none of which will be moving up to high school ranks as 9th graders, returns. They were the runner-up to Prior Lake 2 years ago. I think this is a real bona fide top 2 or 3 team in the state. We'll go Hermantown number 2. Who's number 3?
Stillwater.
Stillwater. Okay, here's a team that did not qualify for state 2 years ago. They lost in a play-in game to Osseo Maple Grove. Really good team. They lose nobody to high school. They got both their goaltenders back. This is going to be a great team. Last year they were really good. There are lots of first years. All those first year players return as second years. I don't think maybe 1 or 2 of their players are first year Bantams. So they're return a lot of second year Bantams. Lots of the kids that returned from a 3rd place Bantam B1 team last year. I think Stillwater is easily a top 5 team in the state.
All right. Tell me about Eden Prairie.
Eden Prairie is number 4, another good pick. A great team. They were a semifinalist 2 years ago. They upset Lakeville South in the PBA first round game. This is a really mature team. Lots and lots of second years. Great goaltending. I think that they got the old coach and Tom Gertis. I mean, this is a team that will always perform well, especially late down the stretch. I think they're a contender for a semifinalist or even a finalist position at the state tournament this year.
All right. And number 5, the Lakers from Prior Lake.
Yeah, these guys return almost all of their players except their 2 top scorers from 2 years ago at the PWH state champions. I think this is a great team. Again, a well-coached team. Scott Bloom's been a long-time Bantam A coach there. I think this is going to be a great team. I've had a couple sources out there who said they've seen them scrimmage so far this year, and they said, don't worry that they're missing 2 of their top players. There's still tons of talent. This is going to be a great team to watch. So definitely a top 5 team in Prior Lake.
There you go.
Well, thanks for helping me today.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for showing off some pins, talking about jersey tags, and we talked a little bit of hockey as well. So hope to see Bob. If you see Bob at the rink, we'll be at our pumpkin tournament. He'll be at the squirt tournament. He'll be with us the rest of the season. Hopefully, it will be ads for both jersey tags and All-American pins on our site as well. So thanks for jumping on board with YHH.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
We'll see you guys around the rink.